Now, this portion of This Week in Agribusiness is brought to you by Firestone Ag. Harvey Firestone invented the first pneumatic farm tire, forever changing what it means to farm hard. Visit FirestoneAg.com to learn more about this history and the tire solutions for today. Drew Moore is back at the desk with us here on This Week in Agribusiness this weekend from Advanced Trading. You spoke of the volatility. You mentioned the wheat. The volatility has been there with us so many days here of late. What do you suggest to your farmer customers as to how to manage through these times and yet capture as much value as possible?
That's a great question, Max. The thing that keeps me up at night, and my family farms as well, is that we're going to plant the most expensive crop ever, right? In a matter of 2 weeks, starting in 2 weeks, and so how do we manage that, right? You look at the CME's got $15 options listed. I mean, are we that bullish? What is the true meaning when we look at overall pricing mechanisms moving forward? Certainly not saying that the prices are going to go that high, but there's a lot of risk on the table, and so having some type of strategy is a conversation we're having every day with our farmers across the United States, and making sure that strategy is disciplined and can be utilized really year to year, and not only in this year. But we have to protect these high prices that we're seeing, even if prices do go significantly higher. Certainly, always something that could happen, but no idea where prices are headed longer term. But I have a lot of profit to protect moving forward.
The option strategy is something your growers are comfortable with. You've worked with them in the past on this?
It has. Education and a lot of cadence with the farmers and larger farmer operations. It's something we talk about every day. But we want to make sure that using put options to protect the downside is certainly forefront on the top of mind for these guys, but also managing those options as well is something we do day in and day out, depending on the volatility of the marketplace.
There is little downside risk at this moment, correct?
It certainly seems that way. A ceasefire in Russia, and then some type of negotiation, and then them essentially, Ukraine, Russia having an adequate sowing season here over the next 2 to 3 months, that could negate prices significantly, right? We've seen wheat month over month up 32%, but at its peak it was up 80%. So this extreme volatility is here to stay. It's just to what degree right now.
Do you help also? You were talking about the cost of doing business. Do you work with your producers on, for example, their hedging their fuel risk?
That's something we'd like to do a little bit more of, and certainly top of mind as well. But the larger contracts that the CME has listed, they now have micro contracts, so it's a little bit easier to manage. But as prices continue to climb, both from a commercial standpoint and retail farmer standpoint, that's certainly more on our topics recently.
U.S. planting progress. How critical will that be? How closely will the markets watch it this spring? Let's say we get a rain delay, for example, to the Eastern Corn Belt. Does that hold potential for lifting prices? Or conversely, if it's timely planting?
It does. Yeah. If we're not adequately planted and in accordance with the 5-year average, I think that the market will certainly take that and run with it. As I noted earlier, we really need to have a record crop in Brazil, the United States, and China here over the next 6-7 months.
Drew, thank you for being here. Nice to see you.
Thank you very much, Max. Appreciate it.
Drew Moore with Advanced Trading, President of Business Development with that firm.